I do like that billboard too, though. That billboard that the college kids have up that was just recently unveiled that says, "Mr. President, I need a frickin' job, period." That was a good one there in Buffalo. And, oh, of course, I always like seeing, though, too, the sign of the billboard, George Bush saying, "Miss me yet?" I love that one. We do. Because when Washington goes on a spending spree and starts borrowing money to take over and bail out insurance companies and financial institutions and the banks, the automakers, and keeps spending endlessly and running up dangerously unsustainable debt and deficits and expect that our kids and our grandkids are going to pay the bills for us for our overspending today, I think that's immoral. It's unethical. It's not right, and I think that all of us agree on that. And when that happens, I think a whole lot of moms who are concerned about government handing our kids the bill, it's generational theft too. We're stealing opportunities from the future of America. We rise up and moms say, "Come on, now that's enough. That is enough, and we're going to do something about this." And Washington, let me tell you, you no doubt don't want to mess with moms who are rising up. They're in Alaska. I always think of the mama grizzly bears that rise up on their hind legs when somebody's coming to attack their cubs, to do something adverse toward their cubs. No, the mama grizzlies, they rear up. And, you know, if you thought pit bulls were tough, well, you don't want to mess with the mama grizzlies. And I think there are a whole lot of those in this room. And that's what we're seeing with all these women who are banding together, rising up, saying, "No, this isn't right for our kids and for our grandkids." And women leading the grassroots people's movement. Many of the Tea Party leaders, most of them are women. So some common sense constitutional conservative women taken to the streets right now, organizing on that grassroots level. This is so good for our republic. It's so good for a republic within a democracy to have this rising up, this awakening. It's very, very healthy for our republic. Others are putting it all on the line, as I say, running for office, being so bold, and those who are endorsed and nurtured by the Susan B. Anthony list, we so appreciate you. When I see how many great women candidates are running, it kind of reminds me of that campaign button that we had in 2008. It showed a pink GOP elephant on it, and it said, "It's a girl." And maybe that was a single girl reference then, but this year, look out, Washington, because there's a whole stampede of pink elephants crossing the line, and the ETA, stampeding through, the ETA is November 2nd, 2010. A lot of women coming together to take this country back. Organizations like the Susan B. Anthony list are leading the charge, too, thankfully. You play such a crucial and unique role in the pro-family, pro-woman, pro-life movement because you support pro-life women candidates. And that is a group that must continue to grow in numbers. You sponsor candidates who will not vote present on those issues of life. And your support for the culture of life, you know that it's not above anybody's pay grade. We proudly stand up and we speak out for those most in need of our protection, those most vulnerable, and we're not shy about doing so. And being a pro-life politician is more than just a convenient title come election time. It means making tough decisions, even if that means bucking your party once in a while on these issues of life, even if it means standing up against that machine that's running a party. The Susan B. Anthony list was front and center during the Obamacare debate, and we were also grateful for your leadership in fighting that public funding that was in the bill during the Obamacare debate. We were saddened to see so many so-called pro-life Democrats cave on the issue, though. But we're not discouraged. Far from being discouraged, we need to be energized. We need to be really fired up and not be demoralized, but get organized. Elections have consequences, and We've seen some of the manifestations of that already in the recent elections and in some of the recent polls. We've seen the consequences of those who said that they were something, get into office, cast their votes, and prove that they're something else. We won't forget those who promised to hold firm against government funding of abortion, but caved at the last minute in exchange for a non-binding executive order promised by the most pro-abortion president to ever occupy the White House. We will not forget. We won't forget, and come November, our new pro-life, pro-woman majority will actually be pro-life when it counts, when those votes are needed. But your work is more than just candidates, SBA. You act as a representative for all feminists who believe in the culture of life. Organizations like the Susan B. Anthony List are returning the women's movement back to its original roots, back to what it was all about in the beginning. You remind us that the earliest leaders of the women's rights movements, they were pro-life. Women like your namesake and like Elizabeth Cady Stanton, Sarah Norton, and Alice Paul, who of course was the author of the original Equal Rights Amendment back in 1923, she said abortion is the ultimate exploitation of women. Today, polling shows that more young women agree with these feminist foremothers than ever before and believe in that culture of life, empowering women by offering them a real choice. In fact, a Gallup poll showed recently that for the first time in 14 years, there are more Americans proudly proclaiming themselves as pro-life, understanding the sanctity of life and the need for a culture of life than ever before. The majority of Americans, and that's a huge victory. Together, our pro-woman sisterhood is telling these young women that they are strong enough and smart enough, they are capable to be able to handle an unintended pregnancy and still be able, in less than ideal circumstances, no doubt, but still be able to handle that, give their child life, in addition to pursuing career and pursuing education, pursuing avocations. Though society wants to tell these young women otherwise, even these feminist groups want to try to tell women, send this message that, no, you're not capable of doing both. You can't give your child life and still pursue career or education. You're not strong enough. You're not capable. So that's very, very hypocritical of some of those pro-life groups. I mean, pro-women rights groups out there who would claim such a thing. And that's as opposed, again, to Susan B. Anthony List, other pro-life women groups who are saying, no, women, you are strong enough. You are capable of doing this. And if motherhood isn't an option, raising that child after you allow it life, well, then adoption is a beautiful choice, and we need to pursue more opportunity in that arena. So, even in less than ideal circumstances, these pro-life groups are empowering women, letting them understand that, yeah, there's going to be some help and some support and resources out there for you in order to give your child life. And I understand those challenges in less than ideal circumstances. I've been there. You know, I had never ordered up, planned on being the mom of a son with special needs. You know, I thought, oh, you know, God will never give me something that I can't handle. And when I found out at about 12 weeks along through an ultrasound that my baby would be born with Down syndrome, I thought immediately, okay, God, remember you promised us you will never give us anything that we can't handle. I don't think I can handle this. This wasn't part of my life's plan. I had no idea how I was going to handle the situation in raising a special needs child as a very busy governor, busy with 4 other kids, husband away quite often commercial fishing and up on the North Slope in the oil fields working there, and just, you know, the circumstances, not knowing if my heart was ready, not knowing if I was patient and nurturing enough. My sister has a child with autism, and we've always said, see, God knew what he was doing. The autistic child would be for Heather, my sister Heather, because she is the more nurturing one. She'd be able to handle this. But when Trig was born then,